Jeff Mayweather does an interview with FightHype.com where he's asked about George Kambosos in the Devin Haney fight. He says he believes that Devin Haney is a good fighter, but he's not going to win in Australia. He said he used to train Devin Haney before. He said he has a great skill set, but he needs a knockout to secure a win in Australia against George Kambosos. And he says that's the one thing that he does not have. So he's speaking on Devin Haney not being able to beat Kambosos at all. Even if he's able to beat Kambosos, if it's not won by via knockout, then he doesn't get the win. A lot of people said this about Devin Haney going over there to Australia. Same thing happened with Manny Pacquiao. The thing is, can Devin Haney get a knockout for George Kambosos? I believe he can, but in a way, I agree with Mayweather. To guarantee that he doesn't have any problems, he's going to need a knockout, because from the setup of things, they either plan on robbing him in the first fight or the second one, either or. I don't know if Devin Haney can walk out of Australia with a decision. That's going to be a tough thing to do. So Devin Haney, going into this fight, he should be contemplating a knockout the entire time, or be looking for the knockout, because there's no guarantees in the 12-round fight that he's going to get the win over there in Australia. And it's messed up that we're already expecting a robbery for him going over there to Australia. It just goes to show how behind the line Devin Haney is really going to go get this undisputed title. You know, that not only that he had to put up with all what he had to put up with Kambosos not wanting to fight him and whatever and whatnot, but he got to go do it in somebody's backyard who's notoriously known for, you know, cheating people, you know. And I don't know if Devin Haney can get a knockout. You know, it's definitely in his capability, but, you know, Devin Haney is a 12-round fighter at the end of the day. And George Kambosos, I mean, he should be able to pick George Kambosos apart, but like I said, it's no guarantee at the end of the day. And then if he does win, he has to rematch him again in Australia. Like I said before, Devin Haney, with this first fight, he has to make it to where nobody wants to see a rematch, and make it so evidently clear that this guy is not on your level and has no chance of beating you. I think that's the best way to go. So I think he needs to give his all in this first fight and make it very clear and put a lot of distance between him and Kambosos as far as skill set. Because when it comes to the second fight, I mean, who knows what goes on? I mean, this is boxing. They ain't catching nobody doing crooked stuff. You see, they allow people to cover up cameras and take drugs and whatever and whatnot. So it just ain't no telling in boxing at the end of the day. But I think Devin Haney can get the job done, but it's how he's going to get the job done is the real question, you know. And then this is the whole thing. What if George Kambosos beats Devin Haney, you know? Or what if George Kambosos or Devin Haney wins the first fight, and then, you know, George Kambosos wins the second fight? You know, is anybody obligated to give a third fight? And if so, is that still going to be in Australia? Like, where do they go from here? But I think Devin Haney need to put on a hella performance, and he need to give George Kambosos a hella ass whooping. Matter of fact, he actually deserves it. And given the talk of George Kambosos talking about he wants to cripple Devin Haney for life and have him walk away mentally never being the same and all this other stuff, you know, all that extreme talk that somebody wouldn't say if they was really respecting, you know, Devin Haney really respecting each other like George Kambosos said, because Devin Haney never went, you know, out of way to say nothing derogatory towards George Kambosos, but George Kambosos has consistently speak on jacking Devin Haney up for life and making him crippled, and he's already talked about Devin Haney having some brain damage and how he's going to cause Devin Haney even more brain damage, talking about the way he talks and he stutters and all this other stuff, and saying he's going to make that shit worse. And, you know, George Kambosos just took shit to a place where he didn't have to at the end of the day. And with a guy talking like that, you know, I mean, and you fighting him in his hometown, it ain't no telling what they got up their sleeve or what they willing to do at the end of the day. Because one thing is for sure, Devin Haney is not the fight that they wanted. This is not the fight that they wanted. They wanted to go a totally different route, you know. So it's almost like they're forced and they didn't have no choice. You know, I mean, they was forced and they didn't have no choice at the end of the day, because they would have ran with Lomachenko or Ryan Garcia if he would have bit the bait, you know. But with guys talking like that, Devin Haney definitely got to watch his back. But, you know what I'm saying, he got his daddy out there with him. So, you know, I'm pretty sure Bill going to be watching out for his son and making sure, you know, no extra shit happened to him. But yeah, I think Devin Haney should go in there. Devin Haney should be looking for the knockout. Should be able to stop this guy, you know, period. If not, then you run a risk at the end of the day. And he has to understand that risk, because, you know, he signed up to do it. So he have to understand that just a 12-rounder, you know, it ain't gonna be, you know, the crowd ain't gonna be nice towards him. You know how they get down in Australia. So the crowd ain't going to be nice to him. And, you know, he going to have a lot of things against him over there. So, yeah, he's going to have to pitch a shutout performance. On top of that, ease out a knockout. And this is the funny thing. The whole you need a knockout to win. That's the same thing that we say about people fighting Canelo Alvarez. You're going to need a knockout to win, because even if you do beat him, you know what I'm saying, as far as point-wise, your ass is going to lose, because this is Canelo Alvarez. If we accept that on a broad level, you know, with somebody here at home in America, man, what do you think is going to happen over there in another country at the end of the day? I mean, what do you think? You know, so it's interesting to see. You know, I look forward to it. I think Devin Haney can get the job done, but whether he'll get robbed or not, it's almost less than likely that that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's almost a guarantee that is going to happen. It's just, you know, what Devin Haney and his team do to secure a win and to try to eliminate as much bullshit in the game as possible. But, you know, that's where we're at in boxing, you know. But George Kambosos definitely need his ass whooped just for the culture alone, you know, because he's been hella disrespectful. A lot of these guys been hella disrespectful, you know. But we gonna see what Devin Haney can do and see if he can become undisputed and see if he can bring them belts home at the end of the day. That's all I got on this. Bruce Vane, I am out.